Alright, Steam's been up to some crazy stuff. Let's check it out.
If you've tried to buy a game on Steam recently, you might have seen this message. Valve has announced the removal of PayPal as a payment option in many countries. This is not a bug or a mistake. It's part of a bigger problem. The biggest question is, why is this only happening in certain countries? Now, you might remember 1 month ago when we first talked about the collective shout, Steam
This
adding
is
a new
insane.
rule and the mass removal of games, that it seemed like PayPal
This credit card's
was
getting out of
involved.
control,
This is
dude.
because right at that same time, it seemingly stopped working. It was unknown if this was some bug, a coincidence, or actually related to the situation. Now, when you try
Dude,
to
look at this. Switzerland, Philippines, dude.
use PayPal in an unavailable country,
All the
you get
countries are
this
getting
official
cooked.
statement from Valve. Steam stated in early July 2025, PayPal notified Valve that the requiring bank for payment transactions in certain currencies was immediately terminating the process of any transactions related to Steam. This is important because an acquiring bank is the bank that handles payments on a company's side. Think of
Yeah,
it
this
as
is
the
bad.
bank that collects the money for
Steam is
Go
just
on
the
to say
beginning.
This affects currencies other than Euro, Canadian dollar, British pound, Japanese yen, Australian dollar, and the United States dollar. This
Well, isn't that because they can't control the other countries, such as like third world countries that aren't regulated nearly as well as first world countries, or they can lose too much money if they regulate those types of countries, as that's where the primary market is.
means that for every other
This also feels like a
country in the
test
world,
run, dude.
PayPal is no longer a payment option to buy Steam games. They continue by saying, "We hope to offer PayPal as an option for these currencies in the future, but the timeline is uncertain. We're also evaluating adding additional payment methods on Steam for the customers affected by this. In the meantime,
Does that mean Valve? Valve's gonna create their own MasterCard? That'd be crazy work. I would switch, dude. It's gonna become the gamer way to pay, dude. The Valve pay. But I honestly feel like this is just a testing ground for other things. Like, it starts at games, but what else? They could stop us from buying food or really anything at this point, dude. If this doesn't go unchecked, this could be terrible.
please use one of our other current payment methods during checkout. If you can't use any of the available options, you can consider using a Steam wallet code to add funds to your account. This confirms that they are actively trying to fix a problem that they did not create. But this statement also leaves us with a massive question. If the problem is with Steam's content, why would the bank only care about certain currencies? Why is PayPal still working perfectly fine in big markets like the US and the EU? One person on
Because they lose too much money, no? That has to be the reason. They would lose way too much money, or they're scared of the pushback being too harsh.
Reddit decided to call PayPal's customer service in Poland to get an answer. The lady insisted I contact Steam because they were the ones who pulled the plug because Steam prefers customers to use their balance. When the user read the official Steam message to the rep, she became irritated and hung up. Does this sound familiar? Because it should. This is the same thing we saw with MasterCard and Visa. When those companies put pressure on Steam, they then publicly denied it. So Valve
Dude, they can't take accountability, just like my boy Pirate Software. Maybe there's more narcissists in the world. We just don't know it yet.
had to be the one to tell the public the truth. It's clear that PayPal is now doing the same thing, blaming Steam to avoid talking about their own actions. When you put all the facts together, it shows a clear connection. This is a bigger plan to control what people can and can't buy online. For this situation, it all began
It's
with an
very
activist
scary.
group asking payment companies to stop handling payments for games with sexually explicit content. MasterCard and Visa were some of the first to act, which led to Steam's new rule. MasterCard denied doing this, but Valve's statement proved they were the ones responsible.
I think most people would believe Valve because they have done this before. They always have seemed like a good guy, you know? They're just someone you can trust. They're not down in the sewers like these other corporations trying to make every penny possible.
At that exact same time, the game store itch.io had its payment service.
What do you guys think? Do you think this is just the beginning of the corporate trying to take over the world and really restrict what we can buy in the future? Or do you think this is like a one-off thing?
With Stripe removed. Stripe's statement was clear. saying it couldn't support this kind of content because of its banking partners. This proves that these banks and payment companies are indeed the ones stopping the payments. Now we have the exact same thing happening with PayPal. A bank on PayPal's side has ended its agreement with Steam. The fact
I'm surprised there hasn't been a law. Like, shouldn't this be regulated by a law? In every country, shouldn't there be a law where banks cannot dictate what a consumer can buy as long as the thing that the consumer is trying to buy is legal? I feel like that should just be a law around the world. Otherwise, the future could look like a desolate place. I might be dead by then, and I'm being thankful for that, man.
that all these events happened at the same time makes it impossible to think that this is just some wild coincidence. Now, you might be wondering, why was PayPal only removed for some countries? They start by making changes in smaller markets with fewer legal protections. This allows them to test their power and
very true
companies without risking their biggest markets.
Wow, look at the map, dude. America, South America, Europe, and then the Asian countries. Steam is popular all over the place. Look at Russia, though. The one guy. Look at these people playing in Russia, these little spots, dude. There's like one guy on the house in the barren wasteland. Oh, here's Canada. Here's my hometown. Oh, dude, that's me right there, dude. That's me. That's me right now. Oh, God.
This strategy is meant to force companies like Valve to agree to their demands everywhere without a major fight. The good news is that Valve is not giving up. Their statement that they are actively looking for new payment methods for affected customers is a big sign that they are fighting for gamers and will not.
One question I do have is, if Valve develops a payment method, do you think other companies are going to follow this, such as Amazon payment method? I think Elon Musk also said something like this, where he wants to do a payment method as well. I just feel like, are we going to get to the point where each corporation might have their own payment methods and then they can control what you buy directly? That could be a real thing. I'm not sure if that's going to happen, but it is a possibility, and it's a scary one.
Not be pushed around by these companies.
Because they could just lock you out of, you can't buy anything on their site unless you use their payment method. That could be a thing. Probably not the best for business, but control is something companies want, and they will do a lot of things to get it.
Have to right now. So the PayPal ban is not a bug. Whether it's the banks, card networks, payment processors, they all try to deny any of this is happening, but there is a clear history. Not just with Steam.
That phone's not working. You see that? Look at that. There's a white screen.
Is a clear history.
You need to get a new phone.
Not just with Steam, but for all kinds.
How old is your guys' phone? Mine's, I think, almost 10 years old. How you guys doing over there? You guys doing good?
Reasons. It's getting so big that we have the Japanese government and even Donald Trump stepping in to stop this from happening by signing a new executive order guaranteeing fair banking for all Americans. We got a statement from the chairman of the FDIC mentioning how they are going to be adding a new rule so these financial companies have to stop using reputational risk as a reason to deny business. So now we have.
So you can just use risk right now to, I guess, deny anything? Isn't there going to be loopholes around that law? Like, because that's such a vague word, right? Like, risk can be interpreted in so many different ways. So I feel like there would have to be like a hard law where it says, I'm not sure if this is what he wrote, but the law would have to say something like, it's not illegal. The bank, it has to accept it. It cannot deny someone a purchase that is technically legal.
MasterCard trying to remove service on Steam through their acquiring banks, PayPal removing service on Steam for a bunch of countries because of their acquiring banks, and Stripe removing service on Itch because of their banking partners. So this is clearly a massive problem that needs to be fixed. In 6 months, though, the government will officially have a strategy on stopping this from happening,
which could
include new laws and regulations, but obviously this...
Oh, so the law he has right now, I guess, is just a band-aid then. It must not be good enough, and there still has to be loopholes.
Not help everyone around the world, like what we are seeing with PayPal removing service in select countries. The best part about this new statement, though, is that Valve officially confirms that they are working on new payment methods,
Valve too, baby,
for the affected countries. We have joked about the idea of Valve Pay, but Valve joining the payment space to avoid these problems really doesn't seem like a stretch anymore. Around 2012 to 2013, Valve became concerned that Microsoft's new Windows 8 and its App Store model could threaten Steam's dominance in PC gaming. This worry directly led Valve to create its own operating system, SteamOS, to reduce its reliance on Windows.
Oh, that's smart.
Anyone who knows
These are
about
always 3
SteamOS
steps
now,
ahead.
it outperforms Windows on gaming benchmarks. With this being such a big issue, that clearly shows
Bro, that's just a mess. What do you mean? This is a massive L, bro. You've been doing Windows for how long? Steam comes in and just outdoes you first try, dude. Just throw in the towel. Just fold it up, bro. You ain't got the dog in you, man.
how these companies like Steam heavily rely on these payment companies, and Gabe Newell loving to be a game changer from his deep sea marine research to his neuroscience brain implant company. I wouldn't put it past them to try to make a solution. We also can't forget Elon Musk, who is aware of the Steam censorship and has mentioned he is working on XPay. So
He's coming in
it's a
clutch.
problem that we are dealing with right now, but hopefully it will be fixed soon. Do you think we can see Rule 15?
All I know is that if this goes unchecked, this will become a huge domino effect that will affect the rest of the market. And you could see a lot of new things coming into play, new laws, new credit cards, companies trying to blacklist you from buying certain things even more, trying to really control what you can do. If this doesn't go unchecked, dude, this could completely undermine society. If you guys enjoyed the video, smash that like button and subscribe.